Thank you. Thanks, everyone, and welcome you in this function series of Dynamics 365 customer service. Really appreciate for your time. I know there is a, you can say, very late in evening, and I think in US it's early in the morning. So today, what we are going to cover, we are at the stage of part two of our functional series, and mainly we are going to look into the case management, as well as we will see the customer service business process mapping within this session here. Before we are going to start into our session, if you have any question, please feel free to ask, or you can unmute yourself by the time that you are going to speak. And again, really appreciate for your time and the cooperation for this all of, you can say, within this series that we are conducting. You can use the question answer section by the time that if you have any specific question you need to ask, or even you can simply write in the chat box here. Today we are going to cover three main areas in this particular session. One is the case management, where we are going to see the scenarios that can be mapped, or we are going to look into the all kind of the models that are available and that can be configured, or you can say they can be mapped on the top of Dynamics 365. Then we will look into the knowledge base management, how the knowledge base can be managed in terms of if you need to manage any kind of, you can say, frequently asked questions, or the material which is more related to helping the customer service representative as well as the customer. So how you're going to manage, we'll see in this session here. Then more importantly, we are going to look into the case routing, how you can configure and how you can set up the rules based on the conditions that the case should be assigned or reassigned to the relevant team or the department, as well as the user. So we will look into the all of three major areas. All of our content is available on our YouTube, as well as you will find the presentation on our OneDrive folder here. Okay, before we are going to proceed to our session, there was one question which I received from one of our participants in our, you can say, the previous session, that how they can set up or have the demo or the test environment. If you are not having Dynamics 365 environment, simply what you can do, you can follow the link, which is, you can see the trial for Dynamics 365. And if you scroll a little bit down, you will find Dynamics 365 customer service link. And from that point of, you can say, the area, you can set up your own demo or a trial instance at your convenience. So you will be able to get 30 days demo or a trial instance for your test or whatever you want to do the learning. Similar way, you can have the demo environment or demo, you can say, the instances for other modules that we have covered in the sales. Even though if you are more interested in the further modules, you can also sign up for those. So every module will come up with a 30 days trial here. Okay, so I hope it answered that particular question. Before we are going to proceed, we will also look into some of the terminologies as we had covered already. So we will highly use these terminologies, where we are going to use case, activities, entitlements, knowledge base, queues, service level agreement, creation rules, routing rules. So these are the all terminologies that we had already discussed, or you can describe in our earlier session. We are going to use and utilize these terminologies within our demo today, as well as the training part that we are going to conduct across the customer service there. Now, if we see the case study, how it works or how it is going to be, you can say, managed on the top of it. Now we have Chacha Shakura is again, and the Chacha Shakura, he is going to have some questions, problems, requests. Chacha Shakura, he is having a company, or you can say a group of companies. He is acting as a chairman, or let's say he's, you can say, having a business with us, and he has a lot of, you can say, correspondence. he has a queries, he has a problem with our services, or he has some special request, and he's going to place it there, and he's going to request us. So by the time he is going to request, what channels he can use? He can use website. Might be possible that we are going to have our own website, and that from that website we are going to collect the information from the problems or the questions or the requests from the customer. Or Chacha Shakura can use the mobile app or mobile interface, or he's having a conversation of online, you can say conference, or by the time he is also putting his request, might be possible he's using the WhatsApp or SMS for, you can say, placing his queries, or he is going to give us the phone call or sending an email, or let's say appointment, or let's say the meeting with our team. So that could be the, you can say, possible channel that he can use. Along with it, there are also some other channels are available. Let's take an example of the social media. Any omni-channel can be integrated with the Dynamics 365. So all of the channels can be connected with the Dynamics 365 environment, or you can say the platform that we are going to use it there. So as soon as the Chacha Shakura, he's going to place a request in any form, what impact is going to be happen as we are going to use Dynamics 365. Dynamics 365 may have the plenty of the modules. It is not required that you are going to use every module. It totally depends on the business cycle or business needs, that what kind of the module that you are going to use it. So in our sample scenario, we can imagine that, okay, we have the ERP solution in finance and operation. We are also using field services as well as the customer service. We have the project service automation, as well as we are having a complete sales management there. So these are the all modules are available within the Dynamics 365. Or might be possible that there could be a possibility that you are going to use only customer service or some other modules also. It totally depends on the business cycle here. So let's take example that we are going to have it all of the modules that we are working on it. What module that we are going to use for this particular scenario, where the customer, or let's in our example, Chacha Shakura, what kind of information that we are going to capture? We are going to capture those information in our customer service module. In our customer service module, we are going to use the case where what the system will do, it will create the case from any source of the mean. Let's say the phone call, SMS, email, appointment, or any web conferencing or a website. We are going to cater, and we are going to just create a case there. And from that point of time, what will happen on the background, one of our support agent, support representative, or whatever you normally call it in a customer service department, he's just going to identify, and he's just going to look into the details. Okay, what kind of the matter it is and how it is going to be managed. So let's take example, if the Chacha Shakura, he's having a problem, so he's just going to investigate what kind of issue he's facing. By the time he's reading the email, by the time he's having a phone call conversation with Chacha Shakura, first he need to identify. And based on the identification, what will happen, either he's going to do his initial investigation, or he is going to forward that particular information, or you can say request, to the relevant team or a department who are going to take care of it. Might be possible it lies within the under his scope of work, or other department they have to take care of it. So the second part, it comes here, the research, where he is going to collaborate, or he's just going to act or respond back, and in the meanwhile he is also collaborating, or he's also investigating the issue. As soon as the information, or let's say request, it's going to be resolved down, then the resolution state come, where the closure of that particular case is going to be completed. And either you are going to close the case by putting the resolution, or you are going to just update the case status based on whatever the action you have completed. Or might be possible there are some duplication happen in that particular case. It could be possible that Chacha Shakura, he's sending the message through the web, as well as the SMS, as well as the phone call. There's a duplication happen. Either you can cancel those duplicated, or you are going to merge those cases into the one single case there. So at the time, what will happen, as you have everything automated, you're just going to receive all the information, all of the you can say, problems that the customer is facing. You have resolved in a proactively. Customer definitely is going to have the satisfaction. It will satisfy the customer. Yes, someone is there from the company side and they are acting or is resolving the issue. It will help you to growth in terms of the growth that the company is willing to have it. And as soon as the customer is satisfied, definitely it will also increase in revenue, because the customer satisfaction is more important than the sales in some terminology that you can also see it here. If the customer is satisfied, definitely he is going to give us a more business in any case. So that's the reason most of the companies that you will see it here, the customer are more important to the sales, as if we compare there. If the customer is satisfied, definitely he is coming back to give us more services, ordering us more products, or whatever kind of the business that we are dealing with here. So if Chacha Shakura is happy, in the end, definitely he will be our loyal customer, as well as we are interacting with him in a positive way. So how we are going to map this particular situation in a system if we are going to work on it? So what we are going to do, we are just going to look into the system demo here. And from that point of view, what I will do, I will jump into my one demo environment. And from here, you can see this Dynamics 365 module is already open. And now what the user can do it here. The interface is similar that we have discussed earlier. You have the navigation on the left side based on some segregation of the relevant area. Now, what kind of action you can do it here? So let's take an example that you are receiving a call from Chacha Shakura company. What you can do, if the IVR system is already connected, what the system will react on that particular scenario, system will prompt the phone call activity screen. So if I just come jumping here, this particular screen where I can show you this phone call activity, it will be open. That could be the possibility of to opening a screen, or directly system can open the contact page or a customer page from where you are going to navigate. So totally depends how the solution is mapped here. So in our case, we can infer that, okay, whenever we are receiving a phone call, what the system should act, it should open a phone call activity here. The direction is incoming because we are saying that the customer is giving us a call. And now what we are going to do, we are just going to select the company here, or directly we can select the person here. So let's take an example, and I'm just going to put the name here. As soon as I'm just going to type it down, so system is also identifying the account or a contact. So I'm just saying that I'm receiving a call from directly from the account here. If it is connected with the IVR, so definitely it will come up with some of the phone number here. Now, what I need to do, I just need to put some of the details here. I'm just saying that Chacha Shakura, he received the product in a not good condition. There was a damage happened in our shipment. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put in here some description, narrative of my case here. Shipment delivery, I'm just going to put it here. Now, how much time we spoke with this person? So we can also put some timing here. So either it's a 15-minute work, 45 minutes, 1 hour, how much hours we have spent. So let's take example, we spoke only 15 minutes. I'm just going to put some information that, okay, airport is having issue. We received in damage. Let me just correct my spell here. Okay, once I'm done, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it as a high priority, and either I can save and close or save and new, whatever. Let's say if there is any call is new, or you can say in the queue. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open this particular case by clicking on the view record, or even though I can go directly in the activities, I can see whatever the activities are there. So let's look into the details that we have entered in here. We just recorded one phone call, and we easily identify from whom we have received the call and who had attended the call, what are the other details. Now, from here, this point of area, what we are going to do, we need to convert this because this is related to some complaint, or this is some, you can say, issue the customer is facing. So what we are going to do, from on the top, we have one option, convert to case here. Similar way, if the customer is having a requirement or he is asking for some services and we have to provide, so we can directly convert to the opportunity where the sales process will start working on it. But although we already identify, okay, this is related to the problem, we are going to create a case here. So as soon as we are just going to click to the case, here system prompting us some of the more detail that we need to put it here. First is the subject, what is related about. So it could be anything related to, just tag the information that we are going to identify. Okay, it's either complaint, inquiry, request, suggestion, just like a tagging the information so that you can prepare a report based on the subject, or you can say topic that we are talking about. What the system should do, it should open a new case. We are saying yes, it should open a case, as well as whatever the activity we have performed in the type of the phone call, system should close that particular activity also. If we don't want to close it, we just need to put it no. Similar way, if we don't want to create a case, we are just going to put it no here. So it totally depends, either you want to convert it or not. For the time being, I'm saying yes, the customer, the phone call should create a new case, as well as the activity should be closed. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on the convert. At this point of time, what the system will do, it is going to create a case for me. It is already identified, okay, who is my customer? And you can see there is the SLA system has already started here. So you can say 14-hour SLA is already started here. So SLA we will cover in our next topic there. As well as you can see the phone call is already tagged within my timeline, so that I can easily identify, okay, from where the case was originated. Okay. So you can see it here, the phone call is there. And what I need to do, I just need to put some product details here. So customer was having a problem with our airport, and we are just going to put it here. Entitlements, if there is any agreement we have going to have with the customer or not. And the description, we are just going to put it here, the description as a, let's say, the company didn't receive item in fact, or yes, you can say this year we can put it here, the company received damaged products. I'm just going to put it here, received damaged product. We would need to investigate the issue. Sorry for my spelling mistakes here. Okay. So let me just correct my spell here. Now, once I'm done, what I need to do here, let me just go under further detail, where I am just going to add some more details here. So let's say this is related to the problem. So I'm just going to click on the problem here. And the contact person was Abdul Shakur. Again, I'm just going to select him. So as soon as I'm done, what I need to do, either I'm just going to click save and close, or simply save it if I want to continue on the same screen, or I simply hit save and route. Save and route, what the system will do, based on my configuration, system will identify what type of this case is, and based on the configuration, system will apply the rule to assign the case to the relevant team or relevant department, or relevant, you can say, the specific user here. So in my case, we have the user. So what the system should do, let me just go back on my cases. So now you can see, before I'm just going to back in case, you can see our case is now set it up with the regarding here. So either I can directly jump from here, or simply go in my cases section, and I should able to see all of the cases which are created. So I'm going to sort this particular view with newest to oldest. And from here, I should able to see, you can see Now, case was created by me, but it is assigned to Wahaj. Why? Because we applied the routing rule here. So based on the condition, based on the scenario that we have executed, we identify, okay, this is the problem. If it is a problem, then assign to Wahaj or the team who is having, you can say, who is going to operate or who is going to mitigate that particular issue. Similar way, we have the issue in particular assigned to Kate. It is related to the request. We have identified, okay, if it is a request, assigned to Kate. If it is related to the question, assigned to Adnan here. So you can specify what type or what on the based on what type the system should define or assign to the relevant team here. So as soon as the Wahaj is going to open a case, so he should able to see his case under my active cases here. So if he opens here, so he should be able to see it here so that the case is already assigned or is already activated from there. Let's take another example here. Chacha Shakura is going to send an email. So let me just do one thing. Let me just send an email from my another email account, and from where I'm just going to share the details. So let me just write a small email to a particular area. So I just sent one email on one of my personal email. So what the system should do, if I'm sending an email to the specific email address, let's take example support@ourcompany.com, we have the automatic record creation rule. So system should transform that particular event of the email and link with the case here or create a case. Totally depends what type of scenario it is. If it's the first fresh email it is coming up here, so it's mean system should consider it as a case and system should register a case there. So for that one, if I'm going to refresh my screen, so let me just see here that this is what I just send one email. So you can see it here. I just sent one email about that I have a question and I need details about the products here. So within a minute or two, what the system will do, system will identify, okay, this particular email it is received by this particular customer to which email address, this particular email address, support@thecompany.com. So as soon as I'm going to receive that email, what the system will do, system is going to create a case for me. So there is the automation here. This is the, you can say, automatic record creation here. So from the record creation, we just set up a rule that the case should be created. Similar way, let's say if you are going to receive a email on the sales account or a finance, so you can create the case or create a record based on the email that you have received. So that's the complete automation that you can do it. Either you want to create the lead, you want to create a case, you want to register an opportunity, or you want to forward this request as you can say to the finance department, you can do it. So totally depends on the scenario that you are going to execute. So let me just refresh, and before I'm going to refresh, let me just refresh also my screen. So if I can see it here, if the email is tracked or not. Let me just see here. So still it's yet to be tracked. So as soon as it's tracked, so system will identify that similar way it is tracked here. So the tag is mentioning here that the particular email is already tracked. So what I can do, if I'm just going to click here on that particular email address, because I'm using the Office 365 emails, and now you can see this is because I didn't refresh, I now refresh it here. Now it's already tracked there, this particular email. So what I can do it from here, if I'm just jumping here and opening my Dynamics 365 within my mailbox, system will also mention me from where it is coming up here. Currently this one is not working. Similar, I think there is some in private session. Let me just refresh it again if it is allowing me to open. Otherwise I will open directly on the CRM. Let me just retry it again. And from here, let me just let it be open. Yes, let me just open it here. No, there's something is happening due to the privilege. I just need to recheck the privilege because the privilege is not there for this particular account because this account doesn't have the license. It's only the email is configured. So now let me just go directly here in CRM and let me just refresh my page. So as soon as I am refreshing, you can see it here. I have a question. That particular email is received, and system already identified from where this email was received. System already identified because my email is registered under the Shakur and Sons account. So if I'm just going to open that particular email, or you can say the case which the system has created, system already tagged the max information whatever we have. So what we are going to do it from here. We are just going to tag some more details. So let's say this particular email was related to the inquiry. So we are just going to put the inquiry here, and sorry, we are also going to see the other details which are related here. Let's say you can see it here. The contact is already assigned, and this is related to the question. We are just going to assign to the question here. So once we are done, what we are going to do, we are just going to save and route sequence. So at this point of time, what the system should do is should assign this particular case to a different team member or a queue or whatever you can say. You have the definition on the background. So let me just refresh my page, so you should able to see on the background. Now you can see it here. It is assigned to me directly. Same thing, the question was raised, it is assigned to me, and system will already identify the original's email. But there was a phone call activity which was having a, you can say, the problem, or was having a, you can say, the complaint from the customer, and it was assigned to Wahaj. So that's the mechanism that you can option in. Now let's take a look how the system progress, or you can say how the business map at the further stage here. Now you can see there is a below, there is a response time is coming up here, or you can say the SLA is appearing it here, and it is just mentioning that what is the first response time the system should send, or let's say the business user he should send it there, and at when it should be resolved. It's a totally configurable base SLA we are going to have it here. Now, why it is coming at the 14 hours? Because might be possible we have selected with the different category of the SLA based on the calendar and the time that it is here. Case is registered during the after office hours. So that's why the system is mentioning that it is going to be reacted, or you can say it is going to be response back by the earliest morning time, because we have set it up here that if it is a question, there should be a mechanism that the 1 hour, 2 hour, there is a first response, and within a 5 hour, 6 hour, there should be a resolution. So that's the configuration we have already done here. Now, what we have it here, you can see it is already assigned to Wahaj, and even though you can also see the timeline here. You can see the timeline that the case is registered by 8:21 p.m. and it was, you can say, converted to the phone call, and the phone call was closed, or you can say it was closed as you can say as a status, and I can see it here that this particular case is now assigned to Wahaj Rashid. Now what we are going to do, we are just going to move back and we will see what happened to the another case here. Another case was related to the question. Now you can you will find a different mechanism here. Now you can see the different response time is coming up here, and plus the different type of activities are appearing here. You can see it here that case was registered. It was registered and assigned to the main primary person, or you can say the team. And what the system had done on the background, system already, you can say, link that particular case, and it sent the automated reply to that particular customer. So if I can show you from this particular point of view, you can see it here, the system has replied back, or you can say send the response to the customer. So the customer is already informed that the case is already open. It's a dynamic email system has sent it here, and every case is either treated as a separate case number or unique number. So system also letting him know that this is your case number. So it's again totally depends on what type of the template that you are going to define. It's a predefined, or is it just a configurable template that you are going to use it here. Okay. Now there are some more functionality that you can see it here. Let me just go through with those details. Now you can see here details. In the details, there is a more information related about it. So you can see the case detail information, additional information. If it is linked with the social channel, it is going to see the details, which profile it is, from where it is received, what is the influence score. So it's an AI based reporting that you can get it from here. Plus there is some relationships here. So you can also manage the relationship either in the form of the merge. Might be possible there is a 2 or 3 cases that you have received and you want to merge it one. Might be possible it's a duplicated case or is a similar case that you are going to put it there. You can merge it together. Even though system also provides the functionality that you can create a child case. So let's take example, he's having a question, but he's having a question in a different manner. He has a question for finance, he has a question for the operation. These are two different teams, they are reacting or responding. So what you can do it here, you can create a child case here. So simply to create a child case, if you are just going to click on the new case or just click on the child case here. So let me just create a child case here. And this particular case is a problem. It is not a, you can say, the question, because he is also asking some other information. And from here, I'm just going to put in here that the invoice is double charge. So I'm just going to put it here as a case. I'm just going to put it is related to the complaint. It is not a question, it is a problem. Okay. And this origin, again, I'm just going to select it here because we received it from the email. We are just going to put it here. And which product we were talking about, if we are going to select it there or not, it totally depends. So I'm just going to select Airport Light. And I'm just going to put it here, some details that the business user can easily identify what we are talking about. Customer was supposed to charge $100 or $1,000, but invoice was sent with amount $2,000. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click save and close. What the system will do on the backend, system is going to create another case, and it is going to create a link here. Now we have the one parent case and we have the child case here. So you can have the multiple child cases as per your own convenience. Totally depends how you're going to manage them. Now, by the time that you are going to work in here, so let's take an example that I'm the also owner of this particular case and I wanted to proceed further. So what I needed to do, again, this is you have the guided process. So this is first is identifying stage we are at. We are just going to move, and in this particular stage we only identify, okay, who is the customer, and if further information is needed, we can add some more details here. So first is the customer is already identified. Now we are going to go in the research field, and under the research field, what the system is asking, either we are needed to assign or not, even though you can have also the further checklist. Totally depends if you want to increase more. Now in that point of time, what you need to do, you need to identify some more information, because you are going to have a call or you are going to interact with the customer, and you need to see what is my past information or past case studies we are having it here. So how you can identify, you can go in the knowledge articles or knowledge base, and from here system will try to identify if it's related to the question or not. So let's take an example. We have the problem. So I'm just going to search with the problem here. System will try to find out the maximum information that we are going to have it here. So this is a problem is related to one case study we are having it here. So I want to see, okay, what's there inside, from where I need to see. I'm just going to click here in the new, and I can see the full detail of my knowledge article. So knowledge article explained me about the fixes of the problem here. So I can see it very easily. Okay, what are the steps that user has to perform, or I can explain it to the customer. Similar way, if I want to send this particular case study to my customer, I can do it. First, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on the link, because the system, I wanted to link it because this is related to this particular case. And similar way, I'm just going to send it to the customer by clicking on the send email. Now, as soon as I'm just going to click it here, system is already identified, okay, who is the customer and to whom I'm going to send it here. So instead of the company, I want to send it to the individual. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select Abdul Shakur directly. So I should receive an email. And this particular email is going to be sent it out, whatever the email template. So this is the knowledge article that you are going to use it there. So once I am done, I just need to click on the send button. System will send an email to the recipient of that particular email address, and the same information will be tagged within the timeline here. So you can see all of the correspondence, whatever the action that you have made, everything will be appear here. So you can see it here, this particular email is already sent to the customer there. So as soon as I will receive, I will also show you how it will come up in my mailbox there. Similar way, what I'm going to do, let me just open up with a different one, you can say different knowledge articles that we are having. So I'm just going to select question if we have nothing. We have nothing. So I'm just going to put damage. Let's take example damage here. Yes, damage. We have this some articles here. So let's say the return or the exchange. The customer is asking for this particular question. So I can see all the details, whatever is written here. And again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to link it because this particular case, or you can say case is linked with this particular, you can say article, and I'm just going to send the same email to my customer. So the same practice I'm going to do here. I'm just going to select the relevant person. And once I'm done, I just need to click next one. Now, let me just show you how if I receive the email. Yes, so let me just open that particular email and let me just show you from here. So now you can see it here. This particular email was sent to the customer at the time of the case creation. Okay, so that's the number one email that I received. Now, along with it, what we had done, we also sent a particular, you can say the case study, or you can say the knowledge article. Customer is also having this information. We already received it there. Similar way, we received another email to the customer with the exchange or return and exchange. It is coming up here. So whatever the correspondence that you are doing with the customer, it is now appearing, it is now coming up here in my system. And even though it is there also linked with my timeline here. So this is a complete list. You will see it here. Okay. Now, what we are going to do in the next, so as we are going to see it here, that's the particular information that we are working on it here, and what I'm going to do, now we are at the research state, so I'm just going to use it here that I'm going to work on the researching. Now, what the system will do, as I am just going to change my status, system will see, okay, what happened, there is an update happened, and the first response already sent to the customer, so it's now becomes succeeded here. It means there's a first level of interaction we have done here. Now, the question can raise here, what kind of SLA we can have it. So you can have n number of the SLAs type. There's a response, status update, resolution you can have. You can have multiple criteria here. And we'll look into the these particular details in our session that we will conduct next week for the service management. So you can have it there. Now, as soon as we are done, we are saying that, okay, we have already resolved, everything is work fine. And before we are completing any information, let's take an example that I have some work. So I'm just going to put here that I have completed one task. So I'm just putting in here the task details here. So I'm just going to put in the case investigation. And I'm just going to set up some time here. And I'm just going to put that time in a way that, okay, it's just supposed to be completed by 9 p.m. and it is expected to that it would require 1 hour, and this particular task is high in priority. So as soon as I'm going to lock it, system will lock my task activity. So this task activity is still inactive because I didn't close it here. I just created a diary. You can say that it's just created a note in my diary there. Now, what next I'm going to do, I'm also making an appointment. So again, I'm just coming up here in the appointment, and I am just going to send the appointment to Abdul Shakur related to the case inquiry. I'm just going to do it here, case inquiry. I'm just putting here the online web conferencing. I'm going to do it with the customer, and so 30 minutes, and I'm just going to put some details here. Need to check. It will be online conference in which we will try to the issue. And as soon as I'm done, I'm just going to send it. So what the system will do at the background, system also send an email invite to that particular customer also, because I use the external email address. So it will also send, might be possible that I'm going to include some internal person also, so I can also include with the same email address. Now let's take an example. that what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mark it complete. Yes, we have already completed this work. Eventually, it shouldn't be happen, but you can also make some restriction here that it shouldn't be closed before the time, or there should be some, you can say, confirmation should be done, perform before you are going to close any activity. So you can perform, you can do the configuration in that particular way. But currently it's open. I'm just going to, for the sake of the time, I'm just going to put it here that I have completed all my work. Everything goes fine. And we have already, you can say, completed our objective. What we are going to do, we are going to the time where we are just going to resolve the case here. So to resolve the case, I just move to resolve stage. And now from here, I'm just going to click on the resolve case button. System will prompt me some of the information that what action I have taken here. So system is asking me that either what kind of information or what kind of resolution that you have performed. Either this is a problem solved or information provided. Even though you can have your own list here. So you can have your own statuses or the types that you want to make it mandatory, what type of information or what type of your activity the customer or the sales customer service representative or the operational team they have done here. So I'm just going to put it here, the problem resolved. So I'm just going to put here that identified problem in shipment carrier. I'm just going to put some. I'm just going to put some remarks here. Product will be replaced in next 2 days. I'm just going to put it. And as soon as I'm done, I'm going to click on resolve. But before resolving switch, you can also see it here. There is a 1.5 hours our total time of work we have allocated here. From where they are coming? They are coming from the activities. We booked the phone call. We have a task. We have set it up our appointment. So all of these activities, our total duration is 1.5 hours. So from here, the system is automatically calculating, or even though if you want to override information, you can overwrite it here. So let's say instead of 1.5 hour, you are going to actually move it here 1 hour, you can do it here. Billable hours here means if you are going to charge the customer here. So one is the total time which is spent based on the activities, or there is the another one is the billable hour, how much you are going to charge to the customer here. If you don't want to use it, it's totally up to you. You can put it as a default, even though the screen can be replaced or change it there. So once we are done, we are going to just click on the resolve here. So resolve, what will happen? System is going to close my case as resolved with the update that we have performed here. So it will add up some information here, what kind of information that we have performed. So system will also put it in here, the information that you can see it here, the identified problem in shipping carrier, whatever the information we have put it there, as well as what we have put in the remarks here. So system will already put it here. And at this point of time, what the system will do or should do in this particular scenario, system should send an acknowledgement email to the customer that the case has been resolved. And if you have any, you can say, setup of the survey about the experience of the customer, that how much they can say experience, means how much they have the experience in our customer service. So you can also send a survey in the form of the form. So you can set up the form or you can set up the survey within the email that you are going to send to the customer, and the customer is going to reply back by filling in the information of some kind of the question answer, you can say you are going to receive it here. And based on it, you can also make your analytics. So means the customer is happy, customer is not happy. If it is not happy, that either you want to reopen the case, reinvestigate the issue, try to identify what is the cause issue so that you can manage it there. Okay. So let me refresh my screen if the case is already there. So because I already configured one workflow to set up that particular email to send on the resolution. So let me see. Yeah, you can see it here. This particular email is already sent to the customer here. Your case has been closed, and if I can see it more, I can see it here that this particular email is sent to the customer here. Okay, and from this within this email, you can also send a survey. So if the customer is filling up the survey, you are also getting the response and is tagged with the case here. So that's the end-to-end, you can say, the solution that you can see it here within the case. Now, if I go back on my history, that what we have covered till now, you can see it here. We have identified, okay, what type of information that we have captured. Either as a phone call, it was a email conversion, or any kind of the, you can say, source of the information that we received. We just put it there as an identification or identify stage, and then we move forward. So what we have covered up till now, we have covered the case creation, case update, different interaction that we have completed. Similar way, case routing, that how the case is going to be applied, and what SLA system should assign here. So these are the all activities. It could be done manually or it could be done automatically. So you can see it's a partial, you can say, automation I have shown you, that the conversion is automatic, but we updated information in a different way, that the customer, or there is some, you can say, the customer service person, he's responded back. He's updated the information and he's seeing the information. Based on the information, he's going to route it here. So again, it could be automated process where you are going to log the information and someone is going to take care of it. And once it is done, it is going to move to the next level. And at the time of the closure, system is giving the confirmation, yes, it is closed. You are going to update the resolution. Now, what happened to the child case? Because we have the one child case here for this particular case. You have the scenario that could be possible that the child case is still active, or it shouldn't be active, or it should be closed before the parent is closed. So these are all configuration that you can manage there. So there is a relationship that you can maintain, that when the parent is going to be closed, what the system should do. System should also close the child cases, or system should wait, or you can say that it should prompt the user that the child case should be closed before the user is going to close the parent case. So you can also manage these scenarios here. It's a configurable. Currently it is open, means you can close the parent case, child will still you can say remain open, but you can change the behavior. It's a configuration, so you can do it very easily there. And you can also see the knowledge article, which is again linked. So it will help you to identify, okay, where the knowledge articles are being used and how much time you have spent on that particular scenario. So you can manage each and every stuff within the system there. Now, if I'm just jumping to the report, what type of report that you can expect and what type of the report that you can see on the top of it. Now you can see here, let me just put it here, the all cases. And here I'm just going to change my view from newest to the oldest. Now you can see it here. This particular case we have resolved, but this case is still open. And if I'm just jumping to that particular case, you can see under the details, there is a parent case is already tagged there. So you can see here, this parent case is tagged there with a different, you can say, setup and this different. And if still you want to continue further, you are going to move it as a separate case here. Now, there could be a possibility that there are chances that you are going to receive multiple cases at the same time with a different department of the same customer. So what you can do it here, I'm just coming up here on the active cases detail. And let's take an example that this and this case, it was the same cases with the same department or same, you can say, customer, but the different department, they are saying the same thing. What I can do, I can make a relationship that, okay, this particular case is the parent and second one is the child. I can do it. Or what I can do, I can use the merge cases. So merge cases, what it will do, it is going to convert the case into one and the other one is going to be converted. So let me just do it here. Which case I needed? I'm saying that, okay, this particular case I need it as a active one. So what I need to do, I just need to click here in the merge, and system is going to close one case as merge and it will remain open, and the second one, which is the active one. So from where you are going to just merge information, or you can duplicate information, and you are going to do it. So if I'm just going to open again all cases, and from here you can see all of the statuses, whatever is coming up here. So you can see here, you can see this one is automatically cancelled and this is remain active here. So if I'm just going to open it here, the primary case, or which is you get the active case, and from here I can see here the relationships. So you can see it is now merged and it's showing that it is already cancelled. So if I'm just going to open that particular cancel case, so I can see the different status here. So you can see it is already cancelled and everything is now disabled. So you are going to override, and from here you can see the status on the top. This is already merged. So you can already identify, okay, what's being happened for that particular case there. Okay. So this is a scenario that you can easily manage, and this is how you can manage very easily within the system. And what kind of report that you can expect from the system? If you are coming up here on the cases and you click on the show chart, you will able to see all kind of information. You can see the people who are associated with the case here. So you can see the most of the cases are linked with the administrator. Then Wahaj, he's having a 3 cases. I can see the service system service account, which is a 8. I can see Kate as a 2. So these are the all information that I can see overall. Similarly, I can see the case creation trend, means how the case are being registered and how they are acting. So I can see it here, when the case was registered here. So I can see it here, the most of the cases were registered on the 13th, then 11. Same thing I can do it here. Let me just change the chart here by origin. So I should able to see the different origin. I can see it here. So these are different charts are available here. Same thing I can do. I can click on the dashboard, and system is going to show me all of the information in single view. And from here, what I'm going to use, I'm just going to click on my visuals, and from here I can see what's being happening. And similarly, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change that time frame so that system should give me the maximum information. So I'm just going to put 2021 here. And now you can see it's a pre-filled information. I can see it here. So whatever the cases are, you can say came from the different origin, based on the priority, based on the SLAs, by the account, and my performance system is also showing me there. So that's the complete information that you can see it here. Now there is an interesting part available in the system, that this case, let's say whatever you have acted or worked on it, you can take a report on it. So how the report will come here? So let's take example about this brew 300. I want to extract the report. So there could be a possibility, either you are going to create a report as just like a report you want to send to the customer. You can do it by clicking on the Word template, and system will give you the your default template, or you can have your own template also. You can prepare your own document and just add up the field and use it. So from here, if I'm just going to open up and show you the document which is created, and this particular report, it can be used to send to the customer, or it can be used for the internal purpose. Again, these kind of the report can be used for, you can say, can be prepared manually or automatically. Again, what type of, you can say, automation that you want, you can do it very easily. So you can see it here, this particular report, which is generated by the system. You can see this is the topic, what was the ID, when it was created, what was the status, what was the priority, who was the owner, and other details are coming up here. So these are complete report that you can have generated from the system there. Now, there could be a possibility that you can have the plenty of the other reports where you can extract by using the SSRS, which is again the SQL Server reporting services, where you have a plenty of the reports available. And from here, you can see the activities, what kind of actions, or you can say conversation are recorded. You can also see the case summary table. You have the very intelligent report of the neglected cases. You can see the aging of that particular report, as well as whatever the knowledge article is used. So let's take example of the neglected case. So that's a very wonderful report that you can see it here, and you can see the productivity, how many cases are still unresolved, untouched, and then no activity happen on those particular cases. The system is going to generate a report based on the business units, based on the customer, based on the user. So totally configurable on your scenarios. So it will show you the all result, plus how much duration you are going to expect. I want to see the 7 days, 30 days. So I can see it here, since when these particular list of the cases are neglected, means no one is taking care of it. Because if the cases are neglected, so it means there is a problem happen within your customer service. So you can see it here, there are 11 cases are neglected in last 7 days, and the duration was 14 to 20 days. So let's take example that I want to see by the owner, he's having the owner, means who is the responsible to do it, who are the responsible to take care of these reports. So I can see it here, the system generated and the administrator. So I can see the both users there. So let's take example, I'm just saying that, okay, I want to see 1 day. means since yesterday what happened. So I will able to see the same information currently because the data is only available in those categories. Same thing I can see by the status reason. I can should able to see with the different status reason here. So I can see one is on hold, 10 are in progress. Now there is the functionalities available of the drill down functionality. You can see it everywhere. You will find the same information, but you are going to drill down. So let's say what's there inside this particular 11 cases. So I'm just going to click here on this chart, and system is going to give me the full detail here. So it shows me the title, when they were created, when they were last modified. You can see the modified by is empty, means no one has updated till for these particular cases. Who is my customer? Who is the owner? What is the last status reason? And how many days happened for this neglected? So it's showing me the last 15 days, then nothing happened. So let's take example that I want to see, okay, what's there here in this particular case, which is Cafe BG1 stuck on overheating mode. I'm just going to click here, and it is going to open up that case record. And from here, I can see the complete history of my case there. So from here, I can easily identify that who is my customer, what was the product he is talking about, from where it was originated, or you can say the created. And I can see the basic detail of that particular customer and what are the other statuses or other cases which are listed down for this particular customer, and since when this particular case is open. So I can see it here. There's a 14 days happen for this particular case is registered, or I can easily identify, okay, when the process was activated here. Okay, so up till now, there is any question or any comment? I can see. Yes, there are some comment I received from Nada that what if an issue seems critical and needs much more time than the customer expectation, that the system forecast or show the probability of losing our sales of that particular customer? Yes, it could be possible. Again, it required the AI mechanism here based on the historical information that you are going to have it, and based on the duration it is applied. You can build a mechanism where you can apply this particular KPIs there. Not a KPI, you can say it's just like a probability you are going to put it here. And you can let the customer know how much time it would require for this particular type of the case or this particular type of the scenario. So that's why we have the FAQs, we have the similar case functionality where you can identify and you can put the old cases or historical cases as a case study, and the same case study it can be used by informing the customer. So that could be possible. There's a one possible also manual, and the same could be automated here, because in the agent that you can have this information when the case was created, what it was the last modified, and what is the transition happened between the status. So you can build that scenario on this particular requirement. Now, there was another question that if I have another question from the beginning of the case identification, why the customer rep entering the call duration manually? I mean, shouldn't, yes, actually see, as I mentioned you that this is the manual process that I'm performing, but eventually it should be done automatically if the IVR system is connected. IVR system in the telephony system is connected, so all of the duration will be recorded automatically here. As we are entering manually, so that's why we have the provision that we can enter the, or you can say override the information. But if you have the automated process, you can lock the field, and whatever the duration it is mentioned, or you can say it is, you can say locked within the call, system should only take those numbers. So let's take example 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 60, 90 minutes. So how much time or even the days system should record. Same way we normally manage automatically. Again, if it is linked with any, you can say, device. Okay, I hope I have answered your question. Now, what we have next. So let me just go to my main presentation screen. Now, we have some rule in automatic record creation, how the system normally create the record here. So as I have shown you here that we have sent an email Now the mailbox are already configured in the system. So totally again, if you are going to use the Office 365 or any kind of the mailbox that you are using, means the email account that you are using, you just need to set up the mailbox. And on this particular mailbox, what we have done here, because the mailbox can be associated with the user or with the queue, because the queue can be used, and queue again is again series of the activities that you can maintain, or it's just like a bucket that you are going to use it here. So queue can be used for the activity for the regular, you can say, work that you are performing, or it could be just a area where you're just going to drop all the information, whatever the incoming are means incoming information are registered, as well as what is the outgoing are registered here. So that's the queue that you are going to configure, or it could be based on a user or a queue. So mailbox is configured, and on the top of the mailbox, because the mailbox is configured on the queue, and the queue, from the queue level, we just put it there that if there is any incoming happen, what the system should do. And based on the rules and the criteria, we are going to convert that particular email and create a case. So how it happens here, so if I can show you within the system how it looks like, I'm just going to open up my system. For that particular scenario, what I need to do, I just need to come here under my service management. And in the service management, we have to set up a queue here. So you can see there's a complete list of the queue coming up here. We will also look into the queue in the detail in our next session, where we will define, okay, what the queue exactly and how it works there. So for the time being, I'm just showing you what we have done. We have created one customer support email as a queue. It's just like an email registration. We have set it up the queue, and that particular queue, it has created a mailbox. So mailbox is already created here in the system, because as we are using the Office 365, so it's already set up there. It's already, you can say, pre-configured. But if you are using your, if you are going to have your own mailbox with a different, you can say, mail provider, you can also set it up the same thing, same information that you can set it up here. So first part, we have put it here as a queue, which queue that we are going to identify. Then if you go there, automatic record creation, I'm just navigating here. This is the particular rule that we have applied. So you can have plenty of the rules based on the setting here. So let's say we have configured only one in the support. Similar way, you have some tech support, you have the support for that particular scenario where you are going to have the information as a sales operational issue, any kind of the you can rules that you are going to define, you can easily define it here. So this is currently that we are having one email. So I'm just going to open that particular email case here. I'm just going to open the rule here, where we had defined, okay, what is the queue system should monitor. So that particular queue, we already put it here, and what type of activity here. So let's take example. I'm just going to click as a new. I wanted to show you what's there inside. So activity, it will come here the mode of the action that it required. So let's say if any task is created, is any phone call is activity, is the outbound message is going to record it, or email, appointments. So these are the all activities here. So based on activity, what type of activity that you are going to record, whatever the information is coming up here, we are defining, okay, whenever this action happen in this particular activity, system should do some action here. So moving back here, what we have set it up, we have set it up as an email. And based on it, what we have done here, we have set it up, the action system should do it here. And what actions we have done here, before we are taking the action, we are just going to apply some of the information that either system should respond back to that particular email, because we have already identified, okay, the email activity that we are going to use it here, and which template system should use, means the email template as a standard one. So what I'm going to do it here, I'm just going to open up here this particular condition that we have applied. And in this particular scenario, what you can see it here, there is again name, and it is showing you some conditions. So what we have identified, we just put it here that the email direction is incoming, means whatever the emails that we are receiving, system should create a case here. So it can be it can be case, it can be lead, it can be opportunity, even though you can create any type of the record based on this rule. So whatever the information comes landed here in the email, direction is incoming as a fresh email, new email, system should create a case here. And what type of configuration system should do? So system is going to create the case by using, or by, you can say, having the configuration which is mentioned here in the Power Automate platform. If I just click on the Power Automate here, so Power Automate is just like a step that we are going to define. So just like a process that we are to define. We definitely will cover this Power Automate section in our upcoming session also, where you can see the processes that you can define, how you can direct the system, that what actions or what steps the system should do it here. But for the sake of this session, we are just going to put it here that, okay, what type of incoming activity is coming up here? System is identifying the email sender. It is identify either the sender is contact or account, create a record, and then, and you can say, complete my activity here. So if I'm just going to open it here, this particular create a record, you can see it here. This is the case. It is going to mention it here. What is the title? Is the save subject. System identify, okay, who is preferring either is account or contact. System going to pull it out and put in the information, and whatever the information is going to be set it as default. You can see the all information are coming up here. So these are predefined, even though you can also change those information here based on your requirement. So that's the one that you can see here. On the other hand, if you can see here, let me just come here. Where's my record to creation? Yes, this one. On the other hand, let's say, because this this provision is only available for online. But let's take example, you have the on-prem environment. So on-prem has a different configuration setting, where the system is defined. You are going to define with the stages, you are going to define with the steps within the system. Power Automate doesn't support on that particular scenario. So you require those particular configurations within a system. So that's the difference come here. Whenever we apply, there's online or on-prem. There's a two different mechanism, but you can say concept is same. On-prem, we apply the same setting there. Means we are just going to specify, okay, email is there, email direction is incoming, or we want to put some condition to fulfill, you can say, the criteria and what the system should do. Once we are set it up here, and we just need to activate, system will start reacting, and whatever the conversation we are going to record, the system will do it here. Now, there is also intelligence happen in the system. Whenever you are going to send an email, the first email considered as a case, because we have set it up that the email we are receiving at a particular email address, which is the support@company.com. System will identify, okay, this is the first email that he received. And whenever there is any reply happen, or you can say there is a back and forth conversation happen on the email, on the same thread, system is intelligent enough to just tag those information within the same. So let's take an example that we have one conversation of this particular case. Let's take example here, newest to oldest. And let me just take one case which is originated by email. So let's take example of this one, this particular one, or let's say there's a delay in the shipment. So let's take example here, the delay in the shipment here. So whatever the conversation that you are going to do it here, or let's say the customer is replying back on the same email, system will tag with the existing case. So system is not going to create another case for it. So system will take care of it. Whatever the conversation you are having with the same email thread, system will consider. Might be possible that the customer is replying back on a different thread, or he is going to compose a new email. From that point of time, you just need to merge those cases. So that's the only thing that you can consider, and you need to do it here. Now we have covered this one, and what else we have? Let me just move to my slide here. Yes, we have some couple of points that we need to discuss. One is related to the routing rule. Yes, routing rule is very interesting one, where you have the case creation, and in the case creation, at the time of the creation, what we are going to do, based on some criteria, system should diagnose, or system should identify what type of scenario it is and to whom it is going to be assigned. So in our example that we have seen, that we configured the case routing in 3 scenarios. One is question, second is the problem, third one is the request. So what will happen, system will do at the time of user is going to click on the save and route. System is going to create a case. If it is the case type is a problem, it is going to assign to Wahaj. Similar way, if the case type is question, assign to Adnan, and if the case type is request, assign to Kate. So these are the rules that we have defined under our routing rules. Okay. Now, Based on it, we have the timer, or you can say the SLA, which will works here. So again, the timer or SLA can be activated by the time the rule is going to be applied, or before or after. So it totally depends on the scenario. But in our case, what we have applied at the time of the case creation, system should apply the case directly, or should apply the SLA by the time system is also assigning or routing the information to the relevant team. Now, if we see within the system how it works, so I'm jumping here again in my system, and from here, I'm just moving to the service management. And under the service management, what I can see, you can see the routing rule sets. And within the routing rule set, you can see the configuration. So there is a one default routing rule we had defined, even though you can have your own. And also you can make a pop-up. So the system should ask you, okay, which routing should system apply? But you can also make on one as a default. So what information that you can see it here, there's a first time is an information. You are going to put it here by the putting the name or who is the owner. So this information. Then you have the rule applied here. The rule is case type is problem, assigned to Wahaj. Case type is question, assigned to Adnan. Case type is request, then assigned to Kate here. So you can see the user here. So if I'm just going to open up here, the rule setting, you can easily identify what type of condition is written here. So you can see it here, the rule criteria. If the case type is problem, directly assigned to user team and assigned to Wahaj. Same goes for the other rule, third rule. Totally depends on totally configurable base. If you have 3, 4, 5, even dozens of the criteria, you can apply here. Again, you can apply to the user or team or a queue. So let's take an example that whenever you are going to use it in a way that you have the specification based on the case type, the different team are responsible to do or correspondence, having a correspondence on a particular stage, you can define it here under the routing rules. So that's why it's pretty straightforward, and you can manage the configuration within the system. Now, what we have in the next, we already covered this one, system demo. We are just going to put it here. Yes. Knowledge base article. So I think we can conclude the session today, because there's again it's a very lengthy topic that we are going to cover, is the knowledge base article. So what we will do, we'll cover this topic by, you can say, next session, and we will cover it within the service management, because in the service management we need also plenty of the time where we are going to discuss about the SLA management, calendar options, as well as the articles, as well as with the template. So these this particular topic we will discuss in our next session. So I'm just going to
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, so what we have for today's, we have the today's take home that we have learned about the case management on Dynamics 365 customer service. So we have seen about the possibility that how much compatibility that we are going to have it in terms of the origination as well as the execution and the, you can say, completion of any work. Then we have also seen about the information related to the automatic record creation, means what are the possibility to create automatically means to create the records automatically by setting up the rules and the configuration, as well as we also seen the routing rules. So what you can do afterwards, you can look into the learning resources which are mentioned. I would really appreciate everyone to just see the details, whatever the key features are available, and you can explore more and you can try out more there. In our upcoming session, we are going to cover majorly on the service management part, and we will also look into the details of the knowledge base article. It will not take too much time. It will require only, you can say, 5-10 minutes we would require for that particular topic. But majorly we are going to cover the service management, and in the service management we have a very comprehensive topic on the SLA, because the SLA criteria, SLA configuration is totally changed with the new version. And we will also make some comparison on both areas, on-prem and online. And within the next week, we will also see the communication, managing the customers, collaboration, and we will also talk about the practicing the lab exercises, means how we are going to start our work, because a week after, we are going to start our technical session, And in that technical sessions, it's good to have the labs before we are going to proceed into the more or major technicalities. Now, I think we are good to go, and really appreciate everyone for the time. And in, we are wishing you a very happy weekend ahead, and we'll see next Tuesday, inshallah. May God bless you.